What up, y'all? Alright, I didn't have it that time. Not ready. I don't want to just always be doing that.
I got
Are you
you.
gonna
I got
smack
you.
me? No,
Nah.
I got you. I got it.
What are you gonna do? Smack?
Well, you went like this. Like, alright. Like, I'm gonna wake your ass up. I was like, what?
No.
What up, guys? We're going into week 7. You guys probably don't know what to expect after a crazy week 6. Players down with injuries, both undefeated teams losing, but we're going to help you out with that. Give you our player props for today. I'm going to give you 3, one for 1 o'clock, one for 4 o'clock, and another for 8 o'clock. Seb's going to give you 3 all-time slots, and then I'm going to give you 3 fantasy players, and then he's going to give you 3 fantasy players.
Yeah, so, alright. Just a heads up, there'll be no Sunday score predictions this week and next week. For this week, I am working very hard on my NBA season predictions that I am halfway done with. And then next week, we're flying to Washington, and I'm going to the home opener for Orlando. It's going to be a really tight week for me and him, so we're only doing the props episode next week. But to kick you off with this prop, my first prop, I did not do time slots just because the 1 o'clocks didn't really pop my eye out. Okay, my first prop, Chris Jones over 0.75 sacks.
Okay,
and let me tell you why. He's had a sack in every game he's played in this year. He's not going under 1 sack in each game. He has 1 sack in each game exactly, but also not over 2. Chris Jones is one of the best D tackles in the league, top 5 at least. Can you agree with me with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Game changer. Their defense has completely changed since
Micah Parsons got his versus the Chargers. He's also top 5. So Jones is going to get a sack as well. This looks like a trap, but there is no way Chris Jones does not get a sack in this game.
Okay.
Can you tell me that? I can't. There's
I like
no
it.
way he doesn't get a sack in this game. Okay?
That's why Herbert's always banged up. He gets hurt.
Exactly.
He gets hit a lot.
So, to my second prop, Kenneth Walker over a half rushing, receiving, pass touchdown. Okay, he is playing the 30th ranked rush defense in the Cardinals, and he scored in his last 4 games, with 2 out of those 4 being 2 touchdown games each. Game is in Seattle, and this favors the Seahawks in every way possible. Okay, I like this prop a lot. He sold me the last time, so if he sells me again, I'm never picking him again. For my last prop, Sunday Night Football, I got Jalen Hurts.
Yes, sir.
Over 255.5 pass yards. Miami has the 26th ranked pass defense, and I am expecting this game to be a pure shootout. I am staying up for this game.
Oh, it's going to be great.
100%.
Yeah.
I might want to come over for this game, man.
Holla at me.
I think EJ might need the emotional support, but...
you ain't coming over if you bring in that negative energy. I'm here for emotional support because, the bird's going down.
No, not going down.
Get out of here with that. You ain't coming to the nest with that shit.
Also expect Hurts to be playing with some fire after last week's worst performance of his career, I think, with 3 interceptions, and the offense only putting up 14 points and losing to the Jets and Zach Wilson. He still had 280 passing yards, though. That just shows what level Hurts is on.
That's why we lost the game.
And hasn't gone under 277 in his last 4 games, with Minnesota being the last under 200-yard game that Hurts has had. Hurts needs a bounce back, and again, this game will be a shootout. Now I'll pass it off to my boy here for his 3 props.
I hope Hurts balls out, but the reason that he doesn't ever throw for under 200 yards, like you said, is because we throw the ball so freaking much. Mm-hmm. And that's what killed us last week. We ran the ball 18 times. So Nick Sirianni, get your head out of your arse and run the ball. Alright. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. Alright, for my prop, 1 o'clock, I have Cooper Kupp going over 90.5 receiving yards. Steelers are bottom 10 in passing yards allowed per game, with 244 yards allowed per game and 271 in the last 3 games. That's 26 among 32 teams. Also, Kupp has gotten no fewer than 115 receiving yards. And in his first 2 games back with Stafford at quarterback, who just feeds receivers all the time. He's locked in on a target. That guy's getting his. All right? 115 and 148 yards. So it's easy for him to go over 190. He's gotten 20 yards at least each game over his prop. Also, other receivers that have played against the Steelers, Ayuk has gotten 129 yards. Okay, that's over 90. Adams over 172.
Ouch.
Okay. Amari Cooper, 90 exactly. And Nico Collins, 168. 3 out of the 4 of those receivers have 130 or more yards. That's pretty nuts. All right, so that brings me to my 4 o'clock prop, and that's going to be Isaiah Pacheco over 63.5 rushing yards. I think
Hold
that...
on, pause the phone. Olave just caught a one-handed catch in the end zone.
Shaheed.
Oh, shit. Okay, go back.
Sorry, we had a football break.
It's currently Thursday night football right now, just so you guys
we got a lot on the line. Saints, Jags, pretty intriguing. But my 4 o'clock prop is Isaiah Pacheco over 63.5 rushing yards. He's playing the Chargers defense. You know I love targeting that Chargers defense. I was debating between getting in the end zone or a rushing prop, but I'm going to go with the rushing prop. And I say he has over 63.5 because he has over 62 yards in 5 out of his last 6 games. Okay? And the Chargers allow, on average, 100 yards a game to running backs. So 5 out of the last 6 games, he's getting 62 yards, and his prop's at 63.5. Okay? No less than 62 yards, to make that clear. And the Chargers allow over 100 yards. Come on, man. He's the lead back in a Chiefs-Chargers matchup that has 48 points. I like Isaiah Pacheco to run all over the Chargers, and that's my prop for 4 o'clock. That brings up... What's up?
No, I was just thinking Eckler versus Pacheco's going to
They have a combined one with Eckler and Pacheco, like 113.
If y'all feel real confident, I'll take that.
But it's rushing yards.
I'll take that.
Eckler could get his... we can get like 40 receiving yards. I mean, rushing yards.
It's whatever.
Like
I would take it personally.
Okay. All right, so for my third prop, and that'll be Sunday Night Football, I got Tyreek Hill going over 96.5 yards. Okay?
The way you said that.
I'm not happy to say it, man. He's going to get his.
Y'all are just so big.
I'm going to be watching it on Sunday night, and Tyreek Hill is going to catch probably like a 20-yard pass, then a 30-yard pass. He's going to be at 50 yards. And then at one point, he's just going to bomb us. Blur! And hopefully we win the game. But Tyreek Hill over 96.5 yards. All right. My Sunday night prop, Tyreek Hill over 96.5 yards. As I said before, he's averaging 135 yards a game this year. That's 39 over his prop. I like that. He's hit over 96 yards in 4 out of 6 games this season. The Eagles are banged up, all right, with our DBs. Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. Well, that Seb just showed me. The line is at 98.5. Still don't care. Like I said, he was 39 yards over his prop on average, and it just went up 2 yards, so he's 37 yards over his prop. Easy money, I think. The Eagles are banged up. I'm an Eagles fan. I watch us play every week. We signed Bradley Roby, and
yikes.
Yeah, he's on IR. He actually wasn't playing bad, but we signed him for help, and he's on IR. We just signed this guy named Josiah Scott. He sucks, and we dropped him earlier in the year because he sucks. So we just signed back a player that isn't so good. So if he's matched up against Tyreek Hill, he's most likely going to score a touchdown. And the Eagles are 20th against the pass this season. Go over. It's going to be a high-octane game. We're 20th against the pass because a lot of teams pass on us because we always pass the ball. So it's always a passing game situation. With the Eagles, Tyreek Hill over 96.5 yards.
98.5.
98.5.
Now at 98.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill over.
Put our 6-man together and cash out your money.
Yes, sir, baby.
Okay.
You already know. On to fantasy football. Score us some points.
Now, to our fantasy players, I'm going to give you my 3.
GenZFanatics going to win you the week. Let's go.
And then I'm going to give you his 3. So, Chris Godwin is my number 1 fantasy player for this week. Yes, he's playing the 5th-ranked pass defense against wide receivers and Falcons' A.J. Terrell, but A.J. Terrell is going to be on Mike Evans since Godwin is more of a slot receiver, and this will open up Godwin. Godwin hasn't scored lower than 8 points this year and is fairly consistent. Expect him to shine in this division rivalry game. Expect Evans to get shut down because that's who the top corners focus on heavily, and it's kind of hard to guard a slot receiver when all he does is move in the motion from the other side to this side, and so Godwin is always moving around, and AJ Terrell is just going to be on Evans, and he's going to lock him down.
I like that. You might want to go under on his prop too. I have Godwin too in a couple leagues.
Okay, so my fantasy player number 2. If you have Kyron Williams, breaks my heart, he's out for this week, or Ronnie Rivers as well. His backup is also out. The Rams are very thin at back. You want to pick up Zach Evans. Okay, he will be the lead back and be getting...
Go on. That's fine. No, I like this because I got some dude that you're going to be like, give me the same reaction.
You must pick up Zach Evans. He will be the lead back,
and
getting
he's going to produce
the workload. He's going to get most of the workload in this game with both of the top 2 backs out for this team. Start him at your flex. Depending on your running back situation, start him at your flex. He's also playing the 27 ranked rush defense. He's a 1-week player. After this week, you might want to drop him because Ronnie Rivers is the backup to Kyron.
That's all the topic is about, is those Sunday games, who we think you should be starting in.
Exactly. And
Zach Evans, okay.
Okay, so...
I like it, Seb Money.
So, now to my fantasy player for Sunday Night Football. I got Jalen Waddle.
Damn.
Okay?
So do I.
Here's why. Philly's secondary is purely banged up. They're just purely banged up, and with them they're actually the 27th ranked against the pass.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
That's in fantasy football.
Yeah, that's in fantasy
I was talking
football.
About in like
NFL
pro football.
But when we're talking about fantasy, that's what I like to use.
Yeah.
So there's 27th ranked versus the pass, which is hard to believe for me. Miami puts up massive points, and with them focusing, the Eagles going to focus on Tyreek Hill, which I don't think they're going to contain him either way. He still has an over 80-yard game. Waddle will get close to equal his looks as Hill does, and he is my favorite on this game. Waddle is averaging 10.6 points through 6 games that he's played. With one of those, he missed. And he's my wide receiver 2 / flex player this week. I just think Waddle's going to have a huge game. I think Darius Slay might do something against Hill. He could, but everybody else is just like, I don't even know who they are. So those are my fantasy players. If you have Jalen Waddle, you should definitely start him at your wide receiver 2.
Okay, cool. I like it. I really like that Waddle play, and I'm going to tell you why in a few moments. But first, I'm going to tell you why you should start Wan'Dale Robinson for the New York Giants, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is going to be a spicy one.
There you go. Do what you
gotta
do.
He's in a matchup that wide receivers have been absolutely killing this year, okay? DJ Moore went for 53 points. A.J. Brown absolutely slaughtered them and went for 40 points. Stephon Diggs absolutely slaughtered them. Like, come on now. I'm pretty sure Marquise Brown had a decent game against them too.
Yeah, but Mike...
And then who did they play this week? They just won.
The Cardinals?
No, the Commanders. They played the Cardinals
they
week
played
1.
the Falcons this week.
They played the Falcons. No, they played the Falcons last week.
Yeah.
Drake London had an insane game.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Wan'Dale Robinson, I think, should be starting. Okay? Going against the Commanders, who allow the 3rd most points to wide receivers with 29.
That's insane.
Yes. They allow 29 fantasy points per game. And in the last 3 games, they've allowed 30 fantasy points per game. So over 6, 29, last 3, 30. Like I said, getting crushed. Scored 14 points last week. Okay, Wan'Dale Robinson did for you. And also has no less than 5 targets in each game. He has 6 or more targets in 3 out of the last 4 games that he's played. Okay? I like Wan'Dale Robinson to absolutely crush. I think he's your start against the Commanders, and it's a juicy one for sure.
There you go.
But Wan'Dale Robinson, he's the wide receiver 1. Oh, they all stink. he's pretty talented and actually gets separation. All right, 4 p.m. I like Isaiah Pacheco tailing my pick. So the Chargers have allowed 21 fantasy points per game to running backs. Another matchup I love targeting. Pacheco hasn't scored under 13 fantasy points since week 2.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Has over 15 in 3 out of his last 4 games played. Yeah, give me Pacheco against the Chargers. He's definitely the start of the week. And in my competitive league, the person who's in first place, shout out to Jake, is going to be happy with his production. All right. That brings me to my Sunday Night Football. I got also Jalen Waddle, and I'm an Eagles fan. I know how it goes. Tyreek Hill is going to produce for you, but that'd be boring if I just said start Tyreek Hill. I think Waddle's going to be a start. He's been iffy this year. I don't know if he scored over 20 points, but he hadn't had that 20-point game for the first 5 weeks of the season. If he did do it, it was last week. And also Jahan Dotson, Jordan Addison, Puka Nacua all scored against us. Those are all number 2 wide receivers. So I think Waddle's going to get in the end zone. James Bradbury or our other DBs, like I said, Roby's out, so we have other backups in the already backup third cornerback spot.
Yeah, y'all are banged up. Let's
Yes.
just put it that way. Y'all are banged up.
Jalen Waddle gets in the end zone. They're going to take advantage of that. He's going to be open and give you 6 points.
All right, well, those are our props and fantasy players for the week. Again, there'll be no score predictions for this episode. I'm sorry. I am trying to get the NBA going. EJ will not be taking part in the NBA until NFL is over, which is understandable. But this is my stuff. I am the EJ of the NBA when it comes to this, okay? I am all about basketball. I know so much about it. And as you can see, I'm going to start wearing my Orlando Magic shirts. And I have so many in that closet back there. Okay, I am ready for this league. Less than a week away, man. Less than a week away. I'm going to cry. All right, we'll see y'all on the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all.
Peace.